Stevo's hooked up. Oh yeah. Just can't believe how easy these soft baits are to get on your hook. It's not a bad fish, Mr. Stevo. Start the day off. And what do you know? It's all ready to go again. He's not a bad fish. Fish on, guys. Double hookups. Welcome to Real Kiwi Fishing. This week, Stevo and I are back out on the harbour. What we're going to do today is we're going to put fishing on the full moon to the test. Got a full moon tonight, and you see a lot of posts. How good is it fishing on the full moon? Didn't do well on the full moon. Did do well on the full moon. Now, what we're going to do is we've got a bit of bait on board. Got the soft baits, and we're going to start off with the soft baits. So we're just going to sit in around that 2 meters, do a bit of a drift. We'll put that to the test, see how good soft baiting is on that full moon phase. If we don't get a lot, wouldn't worry me too much. Obviously soft baiting, you got to come across a fish, but once we drop the berley, try some bait, and we'll see if we can get onto the fish if we don't get onto them with the soft baits. But yeah, today's plan is to just put that to the test. How good is the fishing through that full moon phase? I'm going to start with, I've got another Z-Man, and I didn't have any of my pink Laguna left, so I think this is the Atomic Sunrise 5-inch. I'll give that a bit of a chuck around today. Just can't believe how easy these soft baits are to get on your hook compared to the gulp. Everything about these Z-Mans, pretty crazy. They're just nice and soft, easy to put on, not sort of slimy with that gulp juice. The other cool thing is I'm fishing with the new CD Extra Sense soft bait rod, 46 ton graphite, so I'm going to give that a whirl today as well. Hopefully put that to the test. But yeah, hopefully get into a few fish today, and we'll see how we go with that full moon fishing. Hooked up, guys, on our first fish on the old soft bait. Nothing exciting, but hey, we caught a fish. There you go, just a little snap. Now, he's actually takeable for out west, but not in our books. But yeah, we're on the board. Soft bait. But that's not to say that it's going to be exciting fishing. So let's flick it out again. It's quite amazing how these snapper can pick up those soft baits. It's quite murky water in the harbour here, but man, they can track them down. I don't know whether they're sensing it, like with you twitching the bait, because I'd say a lot of it wouldn't be sighted. They wouldn't really see it unless they came right up onto it. These Z-Mans are scented. They do have a scent in them. Not sure how well they are scented. And like I was saying in some of my previous vids, the one thing I love about them is you can pretty much just about fish with one all day. They handle the bites. Stevo's on the Laguna, pink Laguna shrimp, which is my favourite. Pretty much anything pink, like your pink sliders, your pink jigs for kingfish, work really well. They seem to love that colour. these new rods from CD are really nice. This is a, I think it's a 6 to 10 soft bait rod. It's got that matrix reinforcement that a lot of these rods from CDs have, even through those Akuma rods. Ultra matrix reinforcement. It strengthens the rod. And being carbon, high modulus carbon, they're a nice and light rod. Stevo's hooked up to his first little snap on the softie. Nice little snap. It's not a bad fish, Mr. Stevo. Start the day off. That might be a binny. He's probably around getting close to that 40 centimetres. Probably keep that one if you want. Still in 2 metres. Stevo's on the pink Laguna shrimp, my favourite. Might have to sneak one out of his packet. Just going to move back up where we started. Bite sort of died away. Dropped down into 3 metres and we were up on the 2 metre mark, so we might go back to the 2 metre. Oh yeah. Hooked up again. We're not doing too badly. There's quite a bit of fish here at the moment. Still in that 2 metres. About the same size that Stevo had. Nothing big. But they're liking that atomic sunrise as well. Stevo's on the pink Laguna. He's not a bad fish. It's not big, but it's a nice penny. Probably keep him. What we'll do is we'll keep a few from soft baiting, and then hopefully we'll finish off with some on the baits. Doesn't want to give it up. We're loving the Z-Man. Make sure you dispatch your fish before you put them away. And what do you know? It's all ready to go again. I've had a couple of hits, caught a couple of fish, and like I was saying, haven't lost the tail. Got wind against tide, which is giving us a nice slow drift. Oh, Stevo's on. Second fish. Dropped it, man. Bit of a bummer. Came off that one. But he's ready to go again. If we start actually getting on to the fish, what we might do is I might get Stevo onto the gulp and I'll stay on the Z-Man or vice versa, and we'll just see if we have to one of us has to change out more than the other. It's another thing we could probably trial if the fish come on the bite. Steve's keen for the gulp. Okay guys, we've slowed down on the soft baits. So what we're going to do is we're going to anchor up and do some bait fishing. The fish were there in quite good numbers when we were soft baiting, and then all of a sudden they were gone. So we've decided to move up into a spot where we fish bait, and we'll see how we go. What we might do while we're trialing a few things is I'm not going to drop a burley. We're just going to chuck out some baits. We'll give that sort of maybe half an hour and see if that that works for us. And then if we're not getting any bites or anything, or it's slow, I'll chuck a burley in and we'll see if that brings the fish on. Or do we get small fish when we drop the burley, or do we get the bigger fish when we drop the burley, or we'll just have a look at that. Got a heap of rain coming, that's all I know, but Stevo's going to get a bit wet, he's got no coat, but yeah, we'll trial this. We'll drop some baits, probably just use little cubes of pili, and we'll see how we go, see if we get it onto some fish without using our burley first. Just in a nice little channel, nice little, about 8 meters, 8 to 10 meters. Got a little ball sinker. There's the usual stray line ball sinker. Got a bead there at my hook. About a metre of fluoro. So start with that. Pretty close to that high tide. Front coming through. Hooked up. A little bit better fish on the baits. A little bit of squid. Got no burley in still. Trying it without that burley. Catching a few little ones. Got that same size we got this morning on the softies. But a nice binny. There you go. Not bad. Not a bad fish for the bin. Just a Stevo. It's a bit wet. Hooked up again, guys. There's quite a lot of little fish here, but every now and then get a little bit better fish come by. Still no burley down. I am thinking about it because there is some nicer fish here. And that burley will keep those bigger fish around the boat. Still nothing big. These are nice fish to actually carve up and eat, these smaller fish. He's about 37, 38. Which is well keepable, but we'll let him go away. Just like that. Just using a bit of the squid staying on a bit longer. And what we might do is, once we drop that burley, we might bring a KIWI around for us. Or a big bronzy. Steve's after a big bronzy. But at the moment, there is quite a lot of little fish here. And sometimes the burley can either be your worst enemy, or actually once it starts running, those bigger fish can turn up and they stay in that burley trail. But we'll try a few more baits without the burley. Stevo's hooked up. Dropped there. So we just got the small squids. I'm just cutting them in half. That's pretty much it there. Still running my little ball sinker, probably about a 1 ounce. It's pretty close to that high tide, so there's not a lot of current. We've got that full moon, so once that tide turns to go out, she could start rip roaring. But good thing is, over at this spot, doesn't get too bad. Might end up with maybe a 2 ounce sinker, which isn't too bad. Considering if we were fishing in one of the main channels, you'd be fishing maybe up to about a 6 ounce. But there's definitely fish here. It hasn't been really a slow bite. They came off the bite on the soft baits, that's why we moved to the baits. But we're pretty much catching fish as soon as it's hitting the bottom, sometimes on the way down. I'm just getting little taps constantly. Okay guys, got the berley ready. Just gonna drop her in. The bottom, and I've just pulled it up a little bit to keep it up off the bottom. Not a lot of current at the moment. It's probably about, let's say, high tide. Rope's pretty much just straight up and down, so there's not a lot of current at the moment. Once that current kicks in, really starts flowing a bit better, the bigger fish might turn up. What the? Every time. Hooked up again. Still small, but a little bit better fish. Tide's just starting to run. Berley's been going for probably about 20 minutes. And a little bit better fish. So Stevo's hooked on. I'll probably keep him. Just getting close to that 40 centimetres. Oh, Stephen. Double hookup. Stevo's keeping those little ones busy while I get the little bit better ones. Still nothing big, Stevo. A nice little binny. There you go. Still in that same spot, we haven't shifted yet. These fish are actually nice to keep. It's a nice size, not too big. Easy to fillet, and you get a decent fillet off them. Not a lot of big fish here, guys, so we're pretty much having to take those 35 to 40 centimetre ones. Which in all honesty is quite a nice fish to fillet and eat. So what we'll do is we'll actually have a look at Stevo's one. We'll measure him, we'll have a look, see how long he is. There you go, guys. Like I was saying, it's around that 35, 36, which is a nice eating fish. Get a decent fillet off those sort of 35s, more closer to those 40s. These fish are actually quite a nice fish to keep sort of around that, even that 40, 45. I like those kind of size fish. Once they get into 50s, a little bit more difficult in filleting and keeping in the bin, and it's nice to get a couple of better fish around that 50, but can't complain with 35 up to 40, 45 centimetre fish. But the bite's been pretty good, so definitely that full moon through the day fishing doesn't seem to be a problem. Maybe once the full moon came up or comes up, the fishing might change. But like I was saying, I've had some real nice nights on here on the harbour on a full moon, fishing through that night. Fish on guys, double hookups, couple of better fish. Done a little bit of a shift into a shallow patch in between a couple of sandbars that I like to fish sometimes. We get a lot of our bait fish here. Stevo's got a little bit nicer fish, probably getting up close to that 40, 47, 48. And I've pretty much got the same. Haven't got the berley down. I didn't drop the berley. Sometimes it's good to get to a new spot. And you've been fishing all day, you've been getting little ones through the day. Don't drop your berley just yet. There you go. It's a little bit nicer fish. He's getting up close to 50 centimetres. That one. So yeah, we've done a little bit of a shift. We were getting a heap of smaller fish there for a while, so we did a bit of a shift, try and get away from them. And we've got some better models for the bin. Oh yeah, fish on. Another decent fish. Using that KIWI. Heaps of nibbles, heaps of little bites. I think I got down to maybe the skin, and a better fish has come along and gulped it up. Still not biggie, but just that usual size we've been getting. Got a heap of current here, a lot more current. There you go, another nice penny. Hooked up, tide's turned, late arvo, actually out of berley. Pretty much going to call it a day. Had an awesome day. Going to end up with a nice fish for the bin. End up with about 11 or 12 in the bin, which isn't too bad. Been biting all day, but yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. We definitely have. Just shows you there is snapper through that full moon phase. It could be a little bit different when that moon comes up. They could just disappear, but hasn't been too bad for us fishing through that full moon. Like I said before, I've actually done quite well on that full moon. It's pretty much fish of the day. There you go. He's up around that 50 centimetres. But yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. And until next time, tight lines.